Hello everyone, I'm FARMERSIM and welcome to a particularly beautiful September's morning down here on Riverbend Springs. I do hope you're all doing very well and having a wonderful day. Although now I do know where the weather reporting is. I know that the sun is due to go behind the clouds from about 9-10 o'clock onwards this morning and carry on pretty much throughout the day. So yeah, let's enjoy those blue skies for a short amount of time in front of us. But yeah, as you can see, we've got a little bit of lettuces already been produced from the greenhouses. Not much, only a couple of thousand litres, but it's better than nothing. So that's going to be a nice little income come when we sell them. But yeah, at the minute, it looks like September and possibly October as well may well be a particularly quiet month for us, down on our farm in particular anyway. The sunflower field, which we have just over the other side of the silos here, I don't think that's going to be ready to harvest till potentially November. If I jump into the map PDA very quickly and just show you the growth stages, there we go. So this is obviously the big field in front of us that's also full of weeds. This is the sunflower field here. And obviously we've got potentially another green growth stage ahead of us before harvest stage. Now if I go to our crop calendar here, as you can see, we're in September. Harvest time for sunflowers is October and November, so I'm assuming it's not going to be ready to harvest. They're not going to be ready to harvest till November. So we've got to get through September and October with, I say, very little to do on our farm anyway, because the next big job I'm waiting to do for my land is, if I just drop down these rocks here, or float down as it were, like I mentioned in the first episode of this series, the plan is when these sunflowers are ready to harvest, we'll obviously get them harvested, put them into the silo for a little bit of time before we sell them, and then I'm going to lease a plough and I'm going to turn this field and this field into one big field, getting rid of this little lane here, which is kind of neither use nor ornament really. We don't really need it or use it. We've got a lane that runs off that way, and we've also got an access point lane that runs off that way as well, so I can afford to do without that little bit of road. So yeah, I'm going to turn this into one big field, and at the same time when I do lease that plough over there where we have our silage, fermenting silage bales, they're currently 23% fermented, so I can afford to just obviously got a little bit of time ahead of us before they're done as well. The plan is with those again just to leave them in the field as they are for now, wait till they're fermented, pick them all up, stick them on the trailer and take them to wherever I can take them to get a bit of money into the bank account. And when they're out the field, what I may well do, by the time they are fermented, there's a possibility that the grass might have grown a little bit taller again as well. So what I might do is mow the grass again just to get one more cut from it, and of course you know the score, row it up, bale it up, pick them out the field and leave them on the trailer again, or put them somewhere to ferment, and then plough this field under as well and create another spot of arable land to get planting another crop in. That's the idea. And it's not, don't get me wrong, I know it's not a massive field, but it's big enough. It's considerably bigger than the little sunflower field or patch that we've got over there. So yeah, it stands to be a decent sized field, I suppose. So that's the plan. So as I say, potentially September and October, I'm just essentially going to be dithering around, maybe just taking on a handful of contracts and trying to get as much money into the bank as possible. And as you can see from the top right hand corner, I have taken on another 3 contracts. We have a wood transport contract, we have a rock removal, and we have a cultivating contract. Now I know I've kind of contradicted myself here onwards from the last episode when I said when it comes to contracts I tend to try and gravitate towards the ones that are paying the most money. But this one in particular, I'll go into the contracts menu and show you. So let's go to the active contracts. So cultivating, we've got a $1,108 reward contract there, cultivating in field 27. Now this is tiny, it's really not very big at all, but I was just keen to have a go with my new cultivator. So that's why we've taken that on. Initially, actually, before I took on the contract, obviously because I have a tractor and because I have my own cultivator, I didn't need to lease any equipment. But the leasing costs for this contract, had I not had a cultivator, was $959. So, I mean, it's quite ridiculous, really. We would have earned, what, less than $100, I think. So anyway. We've got a rock removal contract in farmland 26, paying $2,750, which is half decent. Just gives us the opportunity to whiz around in a skid steer with a rock breaker on the front and see if we can earn a few dollars from that. And we've also got this relatively lucrative contract for $11,500 up in the north central area of the map here to pick up some trees and take them to the carpentry production point. So that's relatively lucrative. We have obviously had to lease the equipment. We've got a tractor and a log trailer with a log pickup on the tractor. Leasing costs at $640. So we'll get a little bit of money into the bank account there. We may as well. I may as well. Like I said in the last episode, I don't like wasting time, but at the same time, trying to make content if there's nothing for me to do. The reality is I've just got some contracts to take on. Try and earn a bit of money. We'll maybe do those 3 contracts and then jump forward into October. I'll see where the mood takes me, as it were. So yeah, that's pretty much the plan for now. So I'm going to get myself over to the shop. We've got a bit of travelling around to do. In fact, no, actually, what I will do, thinking about it, let's do things in the correct order to save fuel and save time. We'll do the cultivating contract first. Get that done out of the way. And it will take a matter of minutes to do this because the cultivator is somewhere in the region of 5 to 6 meters in work width, and like I said, the field is something of a postage stamp, but it's easy money, I suppose, in that respect. It's $1,100 for a few minutes work, so it's a bit of a no-brainer, really. Right, so I'll get ourselves up to that field now. It's only a few minutes away. We've got to go up the road and past the farmers market where we went in a few episodes ago to take the straw bales, and it's just off to the left and down the road there a bit from there. So I'll pick you up in a few moments' time when we're a bit closer. I do love this farmers market area. It is a really, really nice looking area and building and setup. It's really very quaint and suited to the map style, I must admit. But one thing I did want to mention, I know it's been relatively popular topic of discussion in the last couple of days since the game's release, is the glitches and problems that we have with the contracts menu, and I have just found another couple as I was setting up this episode to get recording. Essentially, those of you who have been with this series since the beginning, the last few episodes, know that I had an issue with Field 77 where that didn't complete properly, which I managed to get sorted, obviously, because I do play on PC. I do have access to the XMLs, and I was able to fettle my way through it and get it sorted. But, no, actually, bear with me 2 seconds. Let me just jump into the map here and just make sure I'm going the right way. Right, I need to hang at the next left. Yeah, but what had happened this time was, obviously, I'd cancelled that contract, the one that didn't work properly. I'd cancelled that, and I had successfully completed the canola harvest in the last episode, and that one went fine. But when I came in to do today's episode, with the idea of taking on these 3 contracts, I took on the cultivating contract, and that accepted fine. But when I went to take on the next one, which was the rock breaking contract, rock removal contract, that it said, you already have 3 contracts running, and I'm unable to take on any more. And I thought, well, no, I don't have 3 contracts running. I've only got the one. Obviously, knowing that we'd completed one contract and cancelled another, there was no active contracts in my active contract list, but the game was still telling me that I had 3 active contracts, including the cultivating one that we're just about to crack on with here. So, of course, I had to, delve into the XML again and have a look, and sure enough, of the list of contracts that were in the missions list in the missions XML, the only other 2 contracts that were anything but created were a dismissed contract, which was obviously the first harvest we did, which failed, which didn't work properly, and the finished contract of the canola. So I quite literally just changed those 2 contracts to a created state again. Came back into the game, and I was able to reselect and have the 3 contracts. But before that, before I had actually done that, one of the, again, knowing that there is, or was, still is quite prevalent, an issue with the contracts list. If I go into the contracts and go to the new contracts, if we go down, oh, they've actually gone now that I've reset them. Right, okay. Before I'd actually, forgive me, I hadn't actually checked that before recording this segment, but the field, there was another harvesting contract for the field, for both of the fields that I'd done the harvesting contracts for, if that makes any sense. So into the map PDA to show you, these are the two fields, as you can see, they're harvested. That's the one we did in the last episode. That's the one that failed. Back in the contracts list again, before I'd accepted these three, there was another canola harvesting contract for field 76, and there was another harvesting contract for field 77, even though the straw swaths, I believe, are still in that field as we speak now. So yeah, the main point of all this was, yes, to say there is still very much a big problem with the whole contract system in general. So hopefully Giants will get that fixed as soon as physically possible. Hopefully in the next update. I'm sure they are aware of it and will crack on with it. But anyway, for now, let's crack on with a bit of work anyway. You've had enough of my dulcet tones, haven't you? So this is the field that we're going to cultivate, and like I said, it's relatively small. So I'm going to get this done, and then we're going to crack on with the rock removal and the wood transport as well. So yep, I'll see if I've got enough, or see if I can create enough footage to pop this into a little cinematic, and I'll catch you all again in a matter of moments. Right, so there is that job done, and it has completed successfully. It's gone from the list, and it's ready for me to turn in. But one thing I have noticed, again, just another little thing, previous, or slightly different to what Farming Simulator 22 used to be like, when you got to 100% completed, you could still finish the job. But what just happened there was my AI worker completed, he hit the 100% completed point right here, and as soon as you get to that 100% completed point, it then tells you you do not own the land and cannot carry on doing it, because I just tried to manually jump in the tractor and just get this little bit just for my own OCD purposes, and obviously to make it look like I've properly done the job, as it were. But you can't seem to do that. Once you hit 100%, that's it. It seems to stop. But either way, the main thing is that one completed fine, so let's collect that $1,108. Thank you very much indeed. And now we need to go and, you see, as soon as, and again, as soon as you collect in the contract, I mean, there's a little bit of a lack of realism there, isn't there? But moments after being rewarded the contract, all of a sudden, boom, you get a field full of weeds, which is, I suppose that's a little bit daft, isn't it? Anyway, right, the main thing is, job's done, and we've got $1,100 into our bank account. So, there's now a fair bit of travelling for me to do, because, again, just let me show you in the map PDA, we've got a fair bit. So this is where we are here on the map next to field 26. This icon here is highlighting where the rock breaking contract is to take place. This is the shop. And there's no quick way for me to get here, aside from running this route up here, right the way up to here. And I've got to do that in a skid steer, which has a maximum speed of 4. I don't know. But, so yeah, that's going to take me some considerable time. It's a shame that I didn't have ramps on my FarmTech low-loader trailer. Otherwise, I'd have come down here. It'd be quicker for me to go and pick up that trailer, come back here, pick up the skid steer, stick it on the back and drive up here with it on the trailer. But it is what it is. And up here, right in the north central point of the map here, this is where our log picking up mission starts. And this is where I believe we've got to take it to, which is the carpentry point. So, yeah, fair bit of travelling to do. So, let's not dither around anymore. I'm going to make my way to the shop, and I'll pick you up there in a few moments' time. Right, okay, here we are, down at the dealership, and there is our lease equipment. So, I shall just park my stuff up here for now. Leave it here for the next couple of hours while we get these jobs done. So this is actually a bit of, I do recognise this from FarmSim 22, but I never ever used it. But yeah, it looks like an interesting bit of equipment. Big tractor with a roof boom on it, a roof log loader, log grab. And it's got like a bit of a plough fitment on the front as well, maybe so I can push the logs into place if I need to. But obviously we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this job done first. The painful one that's going to take about a week to get up to where I need to get to. So let's get that hitched up. There we go. Lift that out of the way, so I don't run the risk of impaling any passers-by. Okay, 11 miles an hour. Not as bad as I first thought, is it? But it's still going to take us a decent amount of time to get up there, so... And I certainly won't bore you to tears with that journey, so I'll pick you back up again in a, well, X amount of time when I get there. Right then, here we are. This is the location of the job. And this is actually a bit of a first for me. Not only was that the longest journey I've ever undertaken in a skid steer, this is actually the first time I'm doing a rock breaking contract, so... And it's easy enough, isn't it? They're just highlighted with these red flags. So it's a bit of an episode of firsts for me today, isn't it? It doesn't take too long, but this is potentially going to be the easiest $2,110 that we could make, quite frankly, just spending a couple of minutes bashing through a few rocks. That's 20% completed already, so... Naturally, you'd assume we've got 5 to do. And they all look relatively close together here, so I'm not even going to have to spend too much time hunting for them, so that's pretty handy. I mean, what's that going to have taken there? 10, 15 seconds to smash through it? There we go. Just give it a bit of pressure, downward pressure there on the jackhammer. And again. It's just a bit long-winded, isn't it, having to drive all the way up here from the shop in this little beast. But it's worth it for $2,100, isn't it? Let's just make sure I am... It does look like it is one entire rock, but let's just be safe. There we go. 60% completed. Where's the next one? I'm assuming it's just going to take me around in a circle there. There we go. Let's bash away through this one. Come on. To be fair, this one does look a little bit bigger. There we go. Nicely done. And I'm assuming we just need to roll around the side here and go for the last one here. That's easy money, that is, isn't it? I knew the cultivating contract we just done was pretty straightforward and pretty easy, but this is even better. There we go, bit more downward pressure. Boom. Rock removal contract at farmland finished. Well, it's as easy as that, ladies and gentlemen. So let's pop into here. Completed. Collect. Another successful mission. Wonderful. Oh! I didn't think about that, did I? I'm so used to... I suppose I was naturally just thinking I was going to have to drive that back, but guess not. Well, I suppose I could do it the realistic way and wander back, which will take quite a few minutes, but do you know what? For the sake of time, let's just do that, shall we? There we go. Right, so, again, another first. I think this machine, or a very similar machine, was around in... Oh, that's handy. Not used to that. There we go. Oh, it's got a camera view on the grab as well. Excellent, right, okay. So, let's get that hooked up. And I suppose the same thing's going to happen with potentially with this one as well, but fortunately, the delivery point for this one is just down the road from here, so there's the delivery point. Oh, no, sorry, actually, in fact, no, the log. Yeah, we go pick up the logs from here, we deliver them to here, and assuming if that contract works in the same fashion, we'll get to the delivery point, deliver the logs, and the contract will complete, and we'll just have to walk around the corner. So, much like before, I shall make my way right up to the top of the map to where we got to pick these logs up from, and I shall see you again in a moment or two's time. Okay then, looks like this is where we are going to be working for the next few minutes. I can see the pile of logs up ahead, so I'm just going to think about where's best to place this trailer. I think what I might just do, no idea if this is going to be helpful or not, but I don't think any traffic come up this end of the map. So let's just stick that there. Let's unfold the trailer. You can unfold the trailer, I'm not too sure why, but let's just drop that off there. And get ourselves into position. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm not much of a dab hand with these things. I've got very little experience doing logging in the game. So, right, let's have a look. Where are we? Let's rotate that round. Open it up. I suppose I need to position myself a little bit better, try and at least grab them in the middle. Right. Yeah, this is painful to watch, isn't it? I'm sure. There we go. Lower that down. Yeah, forgive me, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, I'm not much of a dab hand at this. Let's bring that back a bit. Goodness me. Lower that down. And then... will it grab two at once? Oh dear. Well, that went well. Yeah, there's a big X there for danger. This isn't going to work very well, is it? Right, do you know what? I'm not going to torch you with my shocking logging skills. I mean, I'm amazed they're still hanging on there, let's be honest. Goodness me. I mean, I might be lucky. I am trying to be very gentle with the movements here. But, right, let's... should be able to lift that up a bit more. What a mess. Oh, there we go. Right, and then... how do I rotate? There we go. Goodness me. Right, okay, leave it with me. I'll see you in a few minutes' time. How embarrassing. Right, okay, that took a few minutes longer than I'd have liked it to, but that's the first load on the trailer now, so I'm going to get this lot strapped on. Yeah, I'm really not very good with using these log machines, I've got to say. But I mean, it's not too bad, it's a bit It's a bit higgledy-piggledy, I suppose, but it'll do for now. I'll get this done as quick as poss. So let's get this thing folded up. I suppose I can use this area in front of me to spin around, at least now. So I'll get this first load taken down to the delivery point, to the carpentry place, I think it is. And I think I'll just, I'll get this contract completely finished off and I'll pick you up when we're making the final delivery. So, see you in a wee while. Now, annoyingly, I couldn't get all the logs into the trailer for 2 trips worth, so I had to leave 2 behind. You can consider them done on the last trip, the 3rd trip. So, this is us. I'm assuming the machinery is going to disappear along with this. No. Okay. Oh well, at least now I can drive back to the shop. Oh, goodness me. Yeah, at least now I can drive back to the shop and not have to walk back to the shop. That's one thing, I suppose. It's funny how it does that, doesn't it? The skid steer disappeared when we finished the contract, but this one didn't. Anyway, that's okay. We'll turn the contract in when we get back to the car park. But I have been having a bit of a think as I've been whizzing around sorting that log contract out, just about where I'm going to go with this episode and potentially the next episode, and just you know, considering making some progress on the farm. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, potentially anyway, September and October stood to be a relatively quiet couple of months, because obviously we can't do anything with our own land yet until I get those sunflowers out the ground. So I was just kind of having to think about what I could do, what options are available to me, and one of the options that it's been kind of sticking in my mind since I mentioned them in the last episode is the collectibles. Now, bear with me. Now, I do fully appreciate that. I mean, maybe I can kind of call it like a 50-50, I suppose. Some of you I know are on board with collectibles and don't have a problem with them. I know some people do have a problem with them and they consider them a bit cheaty, which I kind of appreciate. I know that, but my reasoning behind it is, especially on a Let's Play series anyway, it's a one and done thing. They're in the game, someone has spent time putting them in the game, they're there for a reason, they're there, the option is there, and the potential of $240,000 into the bank is quite tempting. And once they're done, they're done. You can't do them again, which is fair enough. So what I think I'm going to do, because I've considered what I would do with the money if I had it in the bank account, and what I would like to do is put most of it, or a big chunk of it, into some land. So if I jump very quickly into the map PDA over here, so this is our farmland, as you can see. Now ideally, the field I think that would be ideally suited to be owned by the farm is this one here, field 59, just on the other side of the river. This is just under $128,000, or just over $127,000. This one would be suited, I suppose, but if I click on that, that's just under 160, and it does come with a house as well. And I don't know, maybe we can consider that one into the future, but for now I'd like to buy this plot of land. Now, without going even more cheaty and changing the contents of this field currently has potatoes in. Now, if I drop out of that and go to the growth here, as you can see, the potatoes they require the foliage to be removed before they need to be harvested. And as far as I was concerned, that requires the use of a home topper. So I had a quick check in the menus, and sure enough, I can't find one. There doesn't seem to be one there. There's one there for sugar beets, but there's not one for potatoes. If I just very quickly again show you in the... Where are we? Scroll up. So, root crops. Potato technology, you've got this harvester, that harvester, and that big boy there as well, which is complete overkill. Potato planters, obviously, that's potato planters. There's no horn topper there at all. And obviously, beets are beets. But I did have a check, and sure enough, where are we now? Where did I find... Yeah, it's in here, in the beet harvesters. There's the Amititech 3070 defoliator, as it says there. Before sugar beets can be harvested, the foliage needs to be cut with a home topper like this one. Now, obviously, if I was to purchase that field after finding all the collectibles, we then have to lease the potato technology in order to get the potatoes out the ground, and I don't think I'll be able to put those potatoes into my farm silo because it's not a multi-fruit silo. I don't think that's going to be the case anyway. Myself and Mrs. Sim Gamer did have a live stream last night where we harvested some green beans, and that we couldn't put those into our farm silo because we're in base game stuff at the minute. There's no multi-fruit silo available, I don't think anyway. So the reality is I'd have to harvest those potatoes and take the potatoes straight to a sell point and just make some money from them, and then I can then work in that field and make it my own and do whatever and put whatever I want in that field. So I think that's the approach I'm going to do. But what I'm going to do it in a relatively quick fashion. So what I have done, and again, don't bite me head off. It's a case of just getting it done. Yes, it would be a different type of experience if I wanted to go on a hunt and spend a lot of time looking for the collectibles, but that isn't my goal with this. My goal is just to get the collectibles, get the money you get from them, invest that money into the farm, because there's still a handful of bits of equipment I need as well. I do need a lime spreader, a fertilizer spreader, and we'll no doubt need a couple of other bits and bobs as well, but I'd like to put a good chunk of it into that land. So what I've done is I have enabled the show collectibles command in the developer console. So again, if I pop in, I'm sure the hawk-eyed viewers, some of you will have already noticed these in the last couple of clips that I've made, but you've got these little yellow dots dotted around the map all over the place, and that is the locations of the collectibles. So what I'm going to do is essentially, in fact, before I do anything, I'm going to go and turn in this contract. So collect that. There we go. Wonderful. Just over $40,000. That's brilliant. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring up the big map here so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to go into the development console. I am going to just enable flight mode. There we go. Press J to enable that. And I'm just going to make something of this little job that I'm going to do. I'm just going to whiz around, collect them all, and put it into a bit of a time lapse. Just put a bit of music behind it, whiz around, and I'll get them all gathered together, collected up, and I'll see you in a wee while's time with a bit more money in the bank again. So, see you in a bit. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I do hope you didn't find that too painful, me trying to search for the very last one. I found it. It's through a window. So, there we are. Oh, and I got a trophy for that. Excellent stuff. So, and I'm actually quite grateful that we didn't actually get, like, some Brucey bonus at the very end there for collecting all of them. So we've now got all of the collectibles. Let's just go to the statistics there. 25 out of 25. So that is that job done and completely boxed off now. So I can get that stuff out of my head kind of thing. We've got the money from them. We're now at a pretty decent bank balance of $280,000. Which is excellent. So now I'm actually much closer to home now. My farm's just over there, but my tractor's over at the shop. So let's just jump back and get it. There we are. So now, I'll probably have to come back to the shop in a bit, because what that has enabled me to do, of course, is given me a bit of work to do now and to create a bit more content. We can now purchase that potato field. We can, now what I'm going to do, because I, obviously I'm a bit, not worried, but, you know, just thinking about the fact that the, ordinarily I'd have been expected to be leasing a home topper to take the tops off those potatoes before we can harvest them, but that doesn't seem to be the case, unless I have to use the one that's specifically for sugar beets. I don't know. So what I'm just going to do is go and lease the potato harvester, and hey up, overtaking on a level crossing. Psycho delivery driver. Yeah, so I'll lease the potato harvester in the naive hope that there you go, there's a successful overtake now. I'm not going that slowly, goodness me. Yeah, get that lease, see if I can get the potatoes out the ground. I will still just be using one tractor, so it is going to be a pretty big job. It'll be a case of, you know, fill the harvester up, disconnect, bring the trailer to go and get the trailer. Well, in fact, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do that, am I? I think what I'll have to do is use the telehandler to bring I'll use this for the potato harvester, drag the trailer to the field with the telehandler, because I still need to have this on the potato harvester to power the PTO to empty it out. I suppose I'll just disconnect the trailer, can't I? I don't know. Thinking on the fly here, ladies and gentlemen, forgive me. So yeah, right. Let's get ourselves back to the farm here. We'll drop off the cultivator. We'll jump into the menu. We'll buy that field. And hopefully we'll have a bit of a... I'm assuming it's going to be a potentially instant income, because I know I'm pretty certain I'm not going to be able to drop my potatoes into my silo there. So let's just drop out of that view for a minute, just to make my life a little bit easier. There we go. Drop that down. Disconnect. Lovely stuff. Right, so, first and foremost, let's go to our map PDA. Let's go to farmland. So this one. So 127,128. Yep, let's purchase that. Thank you very much. Excellent. And now we shall lease the potato harvester. In fact, yeah, what I'll do is potato technology. We will lease this one. I think so. In fact, have we got enough power? 200 horsepower. Yeah, I think we've got enough power for that. So we'll lease that. Goodness me, 10 grand. Right. We will... Where's my trailer? It's up the hill there. We'll take the trailer to the field. In fact, yeah, that's what we'll do. We can manage it with the with just the one tractor, can't we? We'll take the trailer to the field, drop it off, go and get the potato harvester, and we'll just keep filling up the trailer as we go. And then when the trailer's full, we will take it. We will, just for my own knowledge, we will bring this to the silo just to make sure that we can't tip them in. And assuming that we can't, we'll take them to whichever sell point we need to take them to get as much money as we can. I can't imagine... In fact, let's just have a quick look at that, actually, shall we? So, prices. Where's the prices? Statistics. Prices. Let's scroll down to TATTIES. Potatoes. So, December, $255 for 1,000 litres. We're not far off that now, are we, really? Let's be honest. So we can take them to a handful of the sell points around the map. Goldcrest Valley, selling them to the train. We could potentially do that for the highest price. But yeah, I'm not going to be too fussed if we have to sell them straight away. That's the main point. We're not going to be missing out on too much money, I suppose, are we? Really? Yeah, $379 at top dollar there. Nah, we'll be right. We'll be right. Okay, so I'll get all this done. Like I say, I'm going to drop this trailer at the field. Go and get the harvester. And we'll crack on working in our newly purchased field. And obviously after that now, we've still got a bank balance of $140,000. I appreciate that the cost of that harvester is going to cost a bit more, obviously, because it is going to take quite a bit of time to get this field done. Just working with that machine alone. But we just drop that there for now. I do have crop destruction turned on, so it's not driving the field. Right. I'll pick you back up when we're back at the field with the harvester. Right, well, here we are. This is a massive bit of equipment, isn't it? Go on. Oh, goodness me. Holding up the traffic now. I wanted to reverse this thing up to the trailer just to make sure I've got the height. Sorry, neighbouring farmer. I'm just driving into your field here just to wait for the impatient driver to get out of my way. So let's... Goodness me. That's a fail, isn't it? Right. Now we're past the lamppost. Now we can unfold that. And then we want to move the bunker up. There we are. I just wanted to make sure... Oh, goodness me. Yeah, we've got plenty of room there. Excellent. Right. Move bunker down. Fold it back up again. We'll make our way into the field and make a start. Right. Let's try not to take out the road signs. Okay. That's ourselves roughly lined up. Let's unfold it again. I do hope that my trailer's not in the way there. And I do hope, more than anything... Now this is going to take a while. Look at the width of that pickup there. This is going to take an enormously long time. So, turn on harvester. I do... Alright, okay, so you can't have the harvester on. Can you? When the bunker's up? No. Okay. I might just have to navigate around there a bit. Right, okay, it is picking up. The main thing is, that's what I was trying to establish, that we don't need a home topper for this. So, let me just jump into the menu and have a quick check. It's clearly working, obviously, of course. That's, but just for my own... Right, there we go, yeah. Goodness me. This is going to take some considerable time. So, I am going to throw this into a bit of a cinematic. Obviously, it's going to take a long time because I'm going to need to... I'm going to be jumping out of disconnecting the potato harvester, connecting up the trailer. I will take one quick trip over to the silo when the trailer's full, just to check that we can't stow them away for now. But the strong likelihood is we'll be selling these straight away and putting the money in the bank, of course. So, I'll crack on with this. I'll try and put the whole shebang into a bit of a cinematic, put a bit of music behind it, and I'll see you in a wee while's time.
Jump into the car on a Friday night, I wanna drive with you. Looking for a bar in the nearest town, I've never seen a sky so blue. We don't ever play it and the night is young, it doesn't matter what we do. There ain't nobody like, there ain't nobody like. You look so beautiful, and I'm so lucky to be yours. And you're taking me high. Ain't nobody like you. I'm not coming down. Ain't nobody like you. I could go 1,000 miles as long as I'm with you. Yeah, you're taking me high. Ain't nobody like you. Talking by yourself and you make me smile. I can listen all night long. I tell you about the time when I first met you, listening to our favorite song. Walking on the street when you caught my eye, something about the way you move. No, there ain't nobody like, there ain't nobody like. So lucky to be yours. And you're taking me high. Ain't nobody like you. I'm not coming down. Ain't nobody like you. I could go 1,000 miles as long as I'm with you. Yeah, you're taking me high. Ain't nobody like you. 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 Jump into the car on a Friday night, I wanna drive with you. Looking for a bar in the nearest town, I've never seen a sky so blue. And you're taking me high. Ain't nobody like you. I'm not coming down. Ain't nobody like you. I could go 1,000 miles as long as I'm with you. Yeah, you're taking me high. Ain't nobody like you. Ain't nobody like you. Ain't nobody like you.
Right, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Job done. Just over 2 hours worth of work. We've got the last load in there, just under 8,000 litres in the trailer of potatoes. But I've got to say, what a job Giants have done with the improvements for Farming Simulator 25's AI workers. Honestly, not a word of a lie, I haven't touched any of this. This is all AI work. If I jump into the map PDA very quickly, check that out. Okay, there's a tiny little red patch there, and there's a couple of tiny little patches there, but I can't actually see what that red patch is relating to be fair, so I'm really not going to split hairs over that. That is an incredible job, considering the width of this machine. I think it's, what, 2.5 metre width header or something ridiculously small like that. Anyway, right, first things first anyway, I need to send this thing back. It took me a few minutes to figure out how to return the vehicle, actually, but there we go. So let's return that, because that is costing an arm and a leg. The white here is almost empty of fuel, so I'm just going to turn that off and leave it in the field for now, and we're going to take this up to the... I've been taking the potatoes to the farmer's market, because it's only up the road. And, yeah, it's been getting the job done relatively quickly. So, I'll get myself up there now. We'll tip the last lot, we'll see exactly, and I'll tot up the earnings that we've made, and offset those against the leasing of the potato harvester, and see if we come out on top. Righto, all done, tipped, sold, everything's gone. So, the bank balance is now sat at a relatively healthy $156,551. So, in total, from the potatoes, we earned $24,706 from that field. Offset that against the $18,135 we spent on leasing that gigantic harvester. We've come out on top to the tune of $6,571. So that'll do for me. That's all good. And of course, we've got a new field. So that's another massive bonus, quite frankly. And obviously, like I said before, I know, yeah, we've got the collectibles done and dusted now, so that's something I can completely forget about. We are where we are now. But it does afford me the options of I can maybe dabble with a bit of design on the farm now. There has been one or two little workshops shed that have been released on the Giants mod hub in the last few days, so I might have a look at popping one of them down perhaps. I don't know yet, I'm just thinking out loud. But obviously, as I said before as well, it does afford me the opportunity to pick up a couple of bits of equipment that we are shy of on the farm, one of them being a lime stroke fertilizer spreader. So we can certainly have a look at that. And I also need to place down a fuel tank on the farm, don't I? Because the white is currently almost empty, so that's desperate for a drink and a wash. It's more of a David Brown than it is a white at the minute, isn't it? But so yeah, it gives them the opportunity to place a couple of things down on the farm and not get too worried about emptying the bank balance. So very happy with today's progress. Now, I do appreciate you all sticking with me, if you have done, of course, at this point. I know the video has been a few minutes longer than the usual time of things. I'm not too sure exactly where we are now, time-wise, but I'm sure it's knocking on the door of 40, 50 minutes, maybe a few minutes longer. But yeah, I do appreciate you sticking with me. But as always, thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I really do hope you have enjoyed the video and found it a little bit of fun and a little bit interesting. As always, if you're new to the channel and you like my content, please consider hitting that subscribe button and jumping on board, joining the channel. Please give the video a like if you can. It does do wonders, helps the YouTube algorithm do its thing. And as always, there are a host of links in the video description below with my Giants Partner promo code. If any of you are in the market for purchasing a DLC, an add-on, a bit of the main game, Farming Simulator 25 itself, and you like the idea of helping out a content creator and supporting the channel, as always, I would be massively appreciative. So thank you again for your time, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.